Good evening, Dennis Burns, Fire Behavior Analyst for California Interagency Incident Management Team 2 with your KNP Complex update for October 15th. Starting down here in Division, well, we'll just call it Alphabet Soup now. Division Alpha X-Ray, actually going on up into Union. Basically the whole west side of the fire, just in a patrol status. Actually not a lot of work going on out there today, because there's just not a lot of heat visible, but we still maintain a presence. The work that is going on out in there is the suppression repair on these secondary lines that we cut. Again, putting the water bars in to prevent erosion, and making access to those when we don't want people out there pretty much impossible. So we dig what are called tank traps to keep people from getting out on these roads. Coming across the top, even though it's black, we still have crews looking for sources of heat and picking those up. This is Park Ridge coming down here to the General's Highway. There is still some, visible heat. It's gotten warmer and it's gotten a lot drier, so a lot more heat is showing itself. Coming from the General's Highway, just behind Montecito, all the way down to the south here. Again, the crews just are working to reinforce this. Also, much more heat showing itself. Nothing that's really threatened the line today, but the potential is out there for the fire to do that. So trying to get some depth in that before we put black on the map there. Pretty much the same story out in this area that where it jumped the highway. The crews got in there, they got a hose lay, and they're able to get hose to about this point here. This part right in through here is on a very, very steep slope. Can't really get hose in there, but it's also, it's not a continuous fire front. It was more patchy where there was available fuels on the ground, and then there's decomposed granite between those. A lot of those heat sources are burning themselves out. That's one of the advantages to the warmer, drier conditions. With the fire not spreading, those fuels, the ones that we can't get to, are actually burning themselves out faster, which is a good thing. And that's pretty much the same story out here where Papa and Lima break out in the wilderness here. No real significant movement in this area. Pretty much the same story that I described there, just patches of fuel. What I did see was, logs, things like that burning, but then there was no needle lit or anything like that on the forest floor to carry fire. So, with the open flaming, it can spot into the next jackpot, and that's the kind of spread that we would anticipate to continue to occur while it is warm and dry. Coming down below the giant forest here, and as a reference, that's Morro Rock there. Fire continues to kind of work its way east. It gets rocked out every once in a while, and then it starts moving again. We continue to work this with aircraft. I think we got about 7 fuel cycles with a couple of Type 1 helicopters. Those are the big ones. Just trying to keep this in check. Tomorrow the plan is they're going to put a hot shot crew. We have one available to see if there's anything they can do up on the top to stop the spread. But below that it's kind of cliffed out, so they're most likely not going to be able to get in there. Coming down into the Lima Echo area, which is the east side of the fire. This is the Redwood Ranger cabin in this grove here. Fire's back down to the middle fork of the Cahuilla. This is Cliff Creek in here. Fire's back down there. It is showing heat right at the confluence of those two drainages. It has not crossed. So we're kind of just in a wait and see. Tomorrow, a helitack crew is going to fly in and wrap the cabin in case the fire does get across. But looking at the fuels, it would be pretty low intensity fire even if it did. Coming along here, just some isolated pockets of heat going up to the top. Excuse me, going up to the top of Castle. Not expecting any significant movement there. And then getting down into Division Charlie between the east fork of the Cahuilla and Mineral King Road. We still have 3 hotshot crews that are working the fire that got down below the road. They're trying to cut out those sources of heat. They were using a drone today, again, to identify those sources, but also because of the warm and dry, plenty of them showed themselves. The concern is, one, keep the fire from spreading out towards, Silver City and Mineral King itself, but also to keep it from going across the East Fork. There is line from Mineral King Road almost down to the river, and there is line going on up into the grove here. Not expecting the fire to jump that, but the concern is as it continues to back down towards the river, and this is not a really clean burn, it's very fingery, that the fire could get established and make some intense runs towards the road and throw spot fires. And so that's what we're trying to deal with there. So that's your evening update for October 15th, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.